Hi everybody, today I want to share with you my journey as I've finished taking my maternity leave and coming back to work and things I've learned about the FMLA. So let's just start out with the basics. What is FMLA? Family Medical Leave Act. This was passed in 1993 by President Bill Clinton, and the purpose of it is to help protect employees for their job while they are on an excused absence for extended up to 12 weeks in a year period. Some of the conditions include pregnancy, care for a newborn, if you have a serious injury. So those are some of the qualifying circumstances that you can take FMLA. One thing I learned through my process is that FMLA is unpaid leave while you're protected by your job and still have health insurance, which is a great security, thinking that when you're out, you still have your job with not risk of being fired or demoted when you're returning. Especially for pregnancy, which is what I'm sharing, you're gonna be out for at least 12 weeks or up to 12 weeks, and that's an extended amount of time to be out and coming back to the workforce. Something that I've learned along the way that I hope or I wish I had known before I was out for maternity leave is that you really want to save up your PTOs, which is paid time leave or paid time paid time leave. And the reason for that is because again, with FMLA, when you're out on maternity is unpaid leave, so it really put a dent on your financial life. Hence, you really want to plan ahead of time in terms of if you are planning and thinking about having a child in the near future, you want to start saving up your PTOs. Some big organizations will be able to provide you some paid time leave through short-term disability. For example, if you're having a vaginal delivery, you can have up to 6 weeks off paid. And if you have C-section, you can have up to 8 weeks paid. Of course, with short-term disability, you don't get a full paid. And this is where I highly encourage you to take a look at your basically benefits and talk to your human resource staff, because for example, in some organizations, they would do, you have to be there for X amount of time to get X amount of pay. So for example, you might have to be there for at least a year working before you get 50% pay. If you work there for at least 2 years, then you might get up to 70% of pay. So every organization is different on how they will pay you when you're out on your short-term disability based on the years of working, based on the amount of years that you have worked, and also the amount of money they'll pay you during the time that you're out. So it's good to look into those before you are planning a child, just so you can be financially stable or at least be financially ready, because being 3 months out without paid is again a very financially a burden on your financial life. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that, and again, it's something that I've learned throughout the journey. The other tips that I would also encourage is, like I said, if your organization doesn't guarantee a pay for you, then look into short-term disability insurance for yourself. If for some reason you may have other conditions that might put you on bed rest earlier than the 3 months that you'd be out, potentially longer than 3 months, then also look into long-term disability insurance. Again, these insurance won't pay you the full amount of what your salary is, but at least it will compensate for some to help you as you are out taking care of the baby and not put additional stress on you, because trust me, having a newborn is stressful enough, so you don't want to have additional stress and think about how you're going to make it through paying the bills and etc. And that brings me to the next point, is start building up and accumulating emergency fund. I'm not necessarily saying having a baby is an emergency, however, you do need some cushion, so you don't have to worry about money while you are preparing for this bundle of joy in your life. The third point that I want to talk to you about is insurance or health insurance. So make sure looking into in-network and out-network providers as well as facilities. I ran into some huddle as I'm on my husband insurance, and my provider is in-network, and the facilities I was going to deliver was almost out of network, but as I did the birth registration at the hospital, they gave me a quote of a lot of money, a couple $1,000s, while the insurance said it will only be, let's say, a few $100s. And they were quoted that their insurance was out of network. So it's really important to look into your insurance and make sure that both the facilities that you deliver and also the providers are in network, to make sure that you get the maximum coverage possible. Again, the hospital bills are not cheap when it comes to delivery. It could range up to $10,000 or more depending where you deliver and how complicated your delivery is. So you can do a lot of legwork up front to minimize the cost. And one thing you can also talk to is, of course, your providers have privileges in certain facilities, so it's always wise to look all this information in advance so you don't get a surprise medical bills. They will tell you that you can do a lot of that work, right? But they will tell you there are certain things that will not be within your control. So, for example, the anesthesia team, the labs, some other services that you may not know to work up in front. But at least you can do your due diligence in terms of looking up the in-network providers as well as facilities, so that will minimize your cost. I hope this has been helpful with you in terms of as you're preparing for your bundle of joy and getting through this process. There was a lot of things that I've learned throughout the process that I've learned now, and I wish I've shared that with you. I wish I've known earlier, and I want to share that with you. Again, to recap, Family Medical Leave Act is protecting your job only. It's not paid. Some facilities, some organization will pay for you. However, it's not a complete pay, so having some cushion will be very helpful. Save up some PTOs in advance. Like I said, if you not going to get paid at all, 480 hours are needed for 12 weeks out, or if you get some short-term disability from your organization, having at least 240 hours in your bank are also important. Some organizations both have sick versus pay time off buckets. My organization have one, just PTO overall. So of course, if you're out for maternity leave, you can use sick leave. So really plan ahead is the takeaway message in terms of short-term disability, long-term disability, insurance from your provider as well as facilities, and overall just have some cushion in the end on your personal end, just so you don't be stressed about the financial means of having a child, because it's stressful to have a kid already in that first year, so you don't, or that first 3 months, so you don't want to have an additional stress on you. I hope that was helpful, and if for others that have other experiences, please share in the comments below so it can help others along the way. Thank you. Have a great day.